Ex-governor ordered $1.1 million in welfare payment to Brett Favre. This is according to a defendant in a Mississippi welfare fraud case. They said in a court document that she directed $1.1 million in welfare money to former NFL star Brett Favre at the direction of former Governor Phil Bryant. I'm just going to assume Phil Bryant is a Republican. I don't know. Remember the Republican Party? For the 31st Lieutenant Governor of Mississippi from 2008 until 2012. Governor from 2012 to 2020. He looks like a piece of shit. Mississippi news outlets report that the accusation, which Bryant denies, is in a filing on behalf of defendant Nancy New, who, with her son, once ran a nonprofit group and an education company in Mississippi. After pleading guilty in April to criminal charges, Nancy New, 69, nice, and her son, Zachary New, 39, agreed to testify against others in what the state auditor has called Mississippi's largest public corruption case in the past 2 decades. Her court filing is in a civil case filed by the Mississippi Department of Human Services against Mississippi Community Education Center, Inc., once run by the New family. In the 29-page document, her attorneys say she was acting at the direction of MDHS officials in the awarding of various contracts and allocations. Filing was dated Monday and was first reported by Mississippi Today. She specifically mentions Bryant regarding $1.1 million in money paid to Favre in consideration for Favre speaking at events, keynote speaking, radio and promotional events, and business partner development. Now, perhaps Brett Favre didn't know where the money was coming from, but perhaps he does, or he did. I mean, Mississippi sues Favre and tries to recoup welfare money. These allegations made against Governor Bryant are false. Every claim against these individuals was discovered and prosecuted as a result of an investigation Governor Bryant requested of the state auditor. This is according to a statement from a spokesperson for the former governor. The state auditor has demanded repayment of $77 million of misspent welfare funds, including the $1.1 million paid to the retired NFL quarterback. Favre has not been charged with any criminal wrongdoing and has repaid the money. He has said that he didn't know the money he received came from welfare funds and has denied the auditor's allegations that he was paid for events he didn't attend. Favre also said his charity had provided millions of dollars to poor children in Mississippi. Sure you have, Brett. Where he lives, and Wisconsin, where he was a star with the Green Bay Packers. I bring this up just because I'm getting ready to play you a video from PragerU where they're saying that it's wokeism that is ruining sports, not cronyism and like the shit that you see there, where sports stars get favoritism from governors, get paid off with fucking public money and whatever kind of fucking scheme they had going on. No, what's ruining sports is... And it's not the outrageous contracts. It's not the discrepancy in pay with amateurs, people in college, lack of pay in a lot of cases. No, it's wokeism. Wokeism is ruining sports. This is a photographer by the name of Elise, who's going to tell us all about how wokeism is ruining sports for PragerU.
Years until last year, I never heard any conversation about racial issue in the NBA. It's a prop, it's marketing, it's being part of the movement. My name is Elise, and this is my story. I'm a sports photographer, been covering mostly the NBA for the last 16 seasons. I was born in France, and I became a US citizen last June 2021. I was born in a middle city in France called Tours.
You were born in fucking France where they protest the fucking government all the goddamn time? What? Dude, how in the fuck are you gonna come and sit here and criticize the U.S. with a straight face for the sports teams being woke?
It's like 2.5 hours south of Paris, in the middle of the Loire Valley. We were not rich. We were kind of like, lower income. I had a love for America since I was a little kid, since like around 6-7 years old. My grandfather didn't speak one word of English, but loved Western movies. And I used to go to my grandparents' place every Tuesday as a kid because on Wednesday morning we didn't have school in France back in the day. And we were watching Western movies. So my first love was like the cowboy, the landscape.
Surrounded by the best food, some of the best food in the world, the culture.
Everything. So as a kid, I wanted kind of to be a cowboy. But for
you wanted to be a cowboy.
Think about moving to the USA. It was too big a dream for me. I couldn't like phantom to move to another country and have a career, have a job in another country. So past 30 years old, I was pretty good journalist in information security software. But since I was 6-7 years old, I had one dream, go to this country. So at the same time, I say, what would be the coolest job to do in the USA? And I love sports. So I was like, it would be super cool to be a photographer. And no problem with my language. It doesn't matter if people don't understand me, you know. I'm just shooting photography. I could have the best seat in the arena to follow this sport. I bought some equipment, some photography equipment, and I trained myself. As I was in the...
As a trained photographer with multiple certifications, are you telling me that you had one career and then you just up and bought yourself some photography equipment one day, taught yourself how to fucking use it, and then the NBA hired you? What the fuck? There's more to that. There is more to that. That no fucking way. No fucking way, sir. I don't believe it.
The USA covering an IT convention in San Francisco, I contact a French magazine and I say, I'm here doing my job. I can go to Oakland and shoot the Golden State Warriors and take a bet on me. I'm going to do it. You like the photo, you can buy the photo. You don't like the photo, you don't lose any money. And they did it. And 16 years later, I'm still working for them. They're one of my clients. So that's how I built my portfolio as an NBA photographer. And it's just so fun and so cool. You have 25,000 people around you screaming.
Why does the French publication want a picture of the Golden State Warriors?
Every time is like the first time. The first time I cover a game, I was like, I'm covering a game, you know. I'm not supposed to be here. What's going on, you know? Somebody's going to come and say, oh, what are you doing here? Go, leave. But in 2009, I covered my first NBA Finals. And it was something like incredible because I was on the floor, first row, covering Kobe Bryant winning the NBA Finals. So that's the moment I told myself, doesn't matter for the next years and for my future, what I did right here, what I did to get to this point.
Yeah, I know he's dead. He was a rapist too.
I did something of my life. I did something I couldn't believe that I could have done. I've been covering the NBA for 16 years. Until last year, I never heard any.
Okay, well, when you say one of the guys from Milli Vanilli, you mean one of the people that actually sang, or you mean like the dudes that were like the front men? And also, like, I don't understand why'd you take the Grammys from them? Just give the Grammys to the people that actually sang the fucking song. The songs were bangers. Fucking Blame It on the Rain, I play that shit to this day. I've probably listened to that within the last week or two. Blame it on the rain, yeah. Motherfuckers, come the fuck on. Gotta blame it on something. Give the guys that actually sang the fucking album the Grammys. They deserved it. Banger of a fucking song. Why didn't the people that were Milli Vanilli for real just become Milli Vanilli and be like, hey guys, we're the ones that really did the song. We're Milli Vanilli now. Let's go be Milli Vanilli. I would have bought it. I would have bought you go, oh, you're the real Milli Vanilli. Kind of like how Jeff Jarrett left WWE. And we found out like the real person that sang "Be with My Baby Tonight" was actually the Road Dogg. Got a problem with plumbing. Gotta blame it on something. That's like my favorite Weird Al album. Off the Deep End, I think that's the one that's on. Cause it's got like the Taco Grande song, I think. And it has some awesome original tunes. Really Vanilli. Oh my God, Mox, you're fucking brilliant. Really Vanilli. They should have okay, get rid of the other two guys. These are real two guys. It's called Really Vanilli. Fucking A. My God, mind blown. Taco. Oh, this dude is boring me so much. We're gonna finish it. Give me the track listing for Off the Deep End. Trigger Happy was a very good original song. I Was Only Kidding was really funny. When I Was Your Age, that song is a banger. Oh shit, you got the MC Hammer parody. I Can't Watch This. Ooh, the New Kids parody, the White Stuff. It is the New Kids, right? It's not like one of those other fucking bands, other boy band fucking things. One of those other boy band fucking things. Yeah, there's Taco Grande. The White Stuff. I'm like, one time I'm like sitting at the bar at my the bar at my parents' house, right? Like the breakfast nook, I guess you'd call it. And I'm like singing The White Stuff, and my mom's like, you know what? I guess I'm that age. You got to have to talk with me. I'm like 12 or 13 or something, and I'm singing The White Stuff. And my mom was like, you know what The White Stuff is, right? I'm like, yeah, the cream in the middle of an Oreo. Get your mind out of the gutter, Mom. Get your mind out of the gutter.
You live in sexual anarchy?
One time I was watching a like my uncle, I believe it was, had a porno in a drawer at my grandmother's house. And one time I came home from school and nobody was home. And like my grandmother's house had this gigantic ass driveway where you could see somebody coming from like hell and forever. There's like the living room was on the other side of the house, and there's a window that you can see out the parking lot. My grandfather ran a business, and I'm watching this porno, like, you know what, 6th grade, something like that. And I found this porno tape, and I'm watching it, and I see my mom pull in. So, you know, I wrap my business up and shit. Got plenty of time for my mom to walk, you know, through the fucking, it takes forever. So I go up and like I hit eject on the video, and like I guess the label of the video had like the adhesive had come off. The cheap adhesive from the cheap porno video was coming off, and the tape comes out, and the label gets stuck on the lip of the VCR. Yes, back in the VCR days. And the tape just starts going like in and out, like it's fucking somebody, right? So the tape will go in, comes back in, and I remember freaking the fuck out. And I took this, like, it wasn't Christmas time, it was like the middle of the summer, but there was some kind of card of some sorts. It was like sitting on a mantle somewhere, and I put it in front of the in front of the VCR and tried to like cut my mom off because I was just gonna let my grandmother or somebody fucking find a porno tape in her VCR or my grandfather. Trying to just cut my mom off and like, hey, let's get the fuck out of here. So my mom is like, here's the tape. And she goes in there like, oh, you got a tape stuck in the VCR, and I'm like embarrassed as fuck. And she goes over there and pulls on it, and like it goes back in and just auto plays, and porno comes up on the TV screen, and my mom just falls over in the floor laughing, like it was the funniest thing she'd ever seen. And she's like, hey, you trying to put the little cord in front of it. And I'm embarrassed as fuck. So that's the story of the time that I tried to leave a porno for my grandmother to find. It's gonna be the name of the podcast. He always named the podcast something that was like mentioned in the show. That's the name of the podcast tonight. Oh fuck! I don't want to keep listening to this guy.
Any conversation about racial issue in the NBA. Not inside the franchise, not between media, between photographer. Never happened. Never happened. It really ignite and explode last year.
Well, here's the thing, sir, is you weren't there in the early 90s because the racial strife was absolutely there. And maybe it didn't make so much like the media. The media was far more controlled then. But, like, we were having riots in the streets of L.A., sir. Like, you just happened to come over here at a weird time. And now we're in this collapse of late stage capitalism. The
At the
U.S.
same time,
empire.
the NBA was putting the Black Lives Matter logo on the court. They actually have almost no black media covering the NBA. They certainly have no black photographer covering the NBA.
Wait, aren't you black?
It's a joke. It's
Wait,
a prop.
what?
They go with
Wait.
the flow. They want to be woke.
Did he just say there's no black photographer covering the NBA? I don't know. Maybe he's Mediterranean or whatever you would call it. Like, I thought he was black. I'm floored by this. Especially like he's got an afro. For those of you listening to the podcast, he has an afro. So forgive me. You're saying that the NBA literally has no black photographers. I thought you were black, man. I'm sorry.
They want to be in the trend. It's a trend. Because follow my logic. If you think you need to kneel during the national anthem because you want more social justice, because Black Lives Matter, because police brutality, why are you still not kneeling right now? You were praising to be like really big issues, suddenly they disappear. It's a prop, it's marketing.
What?
It's being part of the movement. And when I see athletes kneeling, you have the right to do it, you know. Definitely not the best way to pay homage and honor to the people who fought for these flags and for this country. And I think it's a gimmick.
It is literally what you are supposed to do to pay honor and respect in the military. That's like once it was like for the millionth time. Like Kaepernick was consulted. Because he was just like sitting on the bench originally. And he consulted a vet. The vet was like, nah, kneel. It shows respect. You say it's a gimmick, but PragerU isn't a gimmick. The phrase wokeism isn't a fucking gimmick.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
All of you guys make hours and hours of content talking about how wokeism hurts your little feelings.
It's gimmick, it's kind of ridiculous for me. I cannot like precisely quote it, but basically, LeBron James say one time like as a black man or black woman, you should be afraid of the police because the police can go out of their place in the morning to go to job and wanted to kill a black man. He basically really says this. That's horrible. That's such a shame. And
I've got data to show you, like even like the act of starting a confrontation, that cops are more likely to pull over black people because you average it out with nighttime, right? When they can see the race of the driver, they're far more likely to pull over black people. And then that averages out at nighttime. You motherfucker, like the statistics even show it. So just the fact that black people are more likely to be in an encounter with police in the first place. That a black person is more likely to live in a heavily policed area. Dude, what do you know about anything? You're French.
if you're young, and again, if you have nobody else who tell you, no, that's not the reality of the world. It's normal. You're gonna fear for your life, and you're gonna live with this fear, and it doesn't make sense. But of course, like a young people who are gonna love basketball is, and he looks like them because he's black. They're black. They're gonna sing his voice, and his opinion has value. I think it's very dangerous for you young people when kind of your cultural leader or cultural role model are uneducated, multi-millionaire, if not billionaire, athletes. I absolutely respect LeBron James for his career. But he became, because of his platform, what we call this platform with social media, he became a voice. He became a cultural voice. He's even like a cultural leader of the Afro-Americans. That's very dangerous.
If I'm not mistaken, he is quite charitable.
No way, he's not an intellectual. An intellectual gonna think about stuff, not going to say stuff and react stuff. Some intellectuals have a lifelong of studying stuff, or studying like society, culture, history, etc. LeBron James is not one of these person. Police want to kill you. That's such a scary and a devastating thought to put into a young generation. I never see America.
Police want to kill you. Police want to kill you. Well, when they go to a training literally called Killology, I mean, honest to fucking God. How Iowa police officers are being trained in Killology. Here, this is the first return from the Iowa Star. Do we have a video? Hey, here we go. Remember that dude just said. The police want to kill you. What an idea.
Let's be honest. I grew up in a law enforcement family. Maybe there was a day when if a man was asked for an ass whooping, it's a cop's job to give it to him, yes?
Time for Rockford Ladder 2.
Well, that day is gone. If it ever existed, it's gone today. There is no action you can engage in that will not be on CNN and YouTube tomorrow morning. You don't have to like it. You got to accept it. It's called reality. There's cameras and umpires everywhere.
Ex-Army Ranger turned police trainer. I believe he's one of the most prolific police trainers.
In a modern liberal democracy in our Army is we want to turn violence on and off like a faucet.
Now, you make the point that while killing may be an inherent taboo, it's something that can be learned. The only way you make a frightened person react in a certain way is to drill it into them, to make it a conditioned response.
Conditioned response. As soon as you see an enemy, you kill.
So that is the training that our cops are getting.
Look at the racist country, and if you push to defund the police for this poor neighborhood, this is so obvious what's going to happen. They're going to have less security.
It's so obvious what's going to happen is that we can actually put resources into that fucking neighborhood instead of the cops, so they can have a lot of fucking shiny toys that they use to harass the citizens and keep them poor. It's a cycle of poverty that the police inflict almost overwhelmingly on the poor citizenry in this country. You don't fucking know what you're talking about, Chris. I'm sorry.
So you want to pretend cops are racist, they want to kill you, so defund the police, get less cop. You leave the neighborhood to who exactly? To the criminals.
The people.
And gonna protect the territory. So you want to defund the police for people who really need the police. I really don't believe, like, as a black man, you're in danger because of police in America.
Those people need the police like they need a fucking hole in the head, Afro dude. I'm sorry, man. And I'm like, I hope it doesn't happen to you, but there's a good possibility if the cops pull you over, they really aren't gonna like you. Perhaps you aren't a black man, but if you get pulled over, I think they might perceive you to be one, just like I did.
America, you are not. You're not going to make me believe if I'm being pulled over, I'm going to be shot, you know. The thing is, like, if I'm being pulled over by a police officer, he doesn't know who I am. I don't know who he is. He can face anybody. He can face nice Chris, which is like law-abiding citizen and a cool dude. But he can face like somebody really bad. So I need to make sure he's going to know right away, as quick as possible, like I'm a normal guy. So I'm not going to do stupid thing. But that's what I told to both my boys. If a police officer pull you over, you put your hand, you turn off your...
Okay, cool, fine, cool. But here's the thing, is a cop is going to approach you not as if you're a normal guy, which should be your right as an American citizen. If you interact with law enforcement, the fact that they're pulling you over in the first place is possibly a violation of your Fourth Amendment rights. I don't care what the courts have ruled. But a cop should be trained to know what a normal guy looks like. And not react like a fucking coward. We've seen cops act like absolute cowards, dude.
You turn off your engine, you pull down your window, you have your hand, and you're ready with your driver license and your insurance card. And this, yes sir, no sir. Until he gonna see, okay, there's no issue with it.
Cops instigate.
I'm pretty sure there's also bad cops. There's bad people in every profession, every job. I've been pulled over most of the time because I was speeding, you know. And when I was spinning, I'm not pretending I'm not spinning. I put over there, I'm sorry, because I'm not playing dumb, I'm respectful, but I've never been in any position when I was afraid for my life. Actually, I experienced much
You
more
are lucky, sir.
interaction with police in France that I did in the USA. I can give you like a couple of countries which are much more difficult for black people, and especially when it comes to racism, in which the racism is culturally much more obvious. This is not America. America is not a racist country. My father raised me to be a man, not a black man. Even if you don't have a father or a father figure around you, get your knowledge and get your education from book, from school, from college. Don't get it from an athlete. It's not because an athlete is remarkable.
Nobody is telling you to get an education from an athlete. Don't get your education from some online propaganda called PragerU. Oh, but that's the problem with sports. That's the problem with wokeism. And I'm sure the wokes are having a fucking hissy fit over Fox Sports placing team logos over the 9/11 memorial. The Yankees routed the Red Sox 14-1 in a laugher on Saturday night, but an insensitive graphic on the Fox Sports broadcast of the game was no laughing matter. So this is the picture. We gotta go over here to Twitter. Boston taking on, I guess it's the Yankees, right? Baseball night in America. This is the 9/11 memorial that they have the team logos over. I'm sure the wokes got really mad about that. I don't personally fucking care. I can see how people would be offended by that, though. I wonder if it was just a graphics person typed in, like pictures of New York. They didn't even like look at the name of the picture. Mox, you're okay with that? Like, it doesn't bother me. But I can see how people could be upset about that. In other words, be happy the cops don't kill you every time you interact with them. Exactly. But apparently Fox has apologized for their insensitivity. During last night's telecast, we used poor judgment on the use of a graphic. We sincerely apologize and regret the decision. I'm just assuming, as somebody who has done graphics for a TV station before, I just like they weren't looking at the name of the picture. They were just looking at pictures in New York. They didn't realize it was the 9/11 because it was also dark. I'm sure the wokes got real mad about that.